What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Supergirl Season 3 finale video. So if you're new to the channel, please do consider leaving a like and a subscribe down below if you did enjoy the video. So Season 3 has come to a close. It's been a very lackluster season, and in my opinion, throughout the Arrowverse, we've had a very, very poor kind of year for DC TV over on CW. You may have noticed I didn't enjoy it that much. I haven't covered it as much on this channel. Supergirl has just been dull, and recently we've had an absolutely mind-confusing, incredibly overly convoluted storyline here with Argo City still being alive and well and bustling, which would have been a really amazing second half arc of this. But they just rushed through Argo City, absolute letdown. And also we've had these things with the witches. We had a second version of Rain come over to Earth and things like that. It just felt completely convoluted and just pretty terrible, to be honest, throughout. The whole witches thing was awful, and I really haven't enjoyed this season. But the finale gives me hope. I have some hope. This episode was really, really weird, with the initial threat being dispatched in the very first couple of minutes of the episode. But we go through and we have another threat with Rain and things like that, and it just is really, really odd. And I have to say the CGI and the effects were just terrible. The standout was when we had Supergirl, and her mother, and we had Saturn Girl fly into this huge wave storm thing that was going on. It just felt and looked very much like the Supergirl movie, or even the Christopher Reeve Supergirl movie as well. It just felt really, really weak and lackluster. And especially with the scene when we had John Johns talking to his father and doing the mind meld thing and taking all the knowledge. It just, and the flames, and they were just in some quarry. It just felt really, really flat. But there's a lot of interesting things in this which hint towards a decent season 4. Hopefully they don't drop the ball like they did with the World Killers this season. So the fact that they defeated Pestilence led to an interesting conversation with Brainiac, or kind of Brainiac 5, when he mentions that, well, they saved the future, but there is something which is going around destroying all of the AIs, and that is, of course, Brainiac. Brainiac, they don't mention him at all, they don't mention the name Brainiac, but it's kind of obvious that this is actually Brainiac, and he is in the future being a huge threat. Now, he is the enemy in the Krypton TV show over on Sci-Fi, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that. Are they able to fit that in? It would be a bit odd if they did. But I don't know, because they're not really going to visit the future that much, but it explains why Brainiac is going to have to stay in our present timeline. And then we have Mon-El and Winn go to the future. They need to stop him, and Brainiac will pretty much, our Brainy will be destroyed quite easily. So yeah, it's quite cool that they mention that, and that's setting up maybe a future storyline. Now we know that Winn, he's not going to be in it that much. He's not going to be in, and Wood, our Mon-El, is not returning next season at all. So we've got Brainiac, who is pretty much a season regular. I believe the guy who plays Winn is now just an recurring character. He's not a season regular, so he's not going to be in it that much. The character has been terribly mishandled throughout the season, but his send-off was pretty good. I did enjoy that. It was really touching and one of the best parts of the episode. I really do like Winn, and I do love how convenient it is that he was the one who created the technology that everything is based off in the future. So I guess his father might be proud of him if his father wasn't, you know, a complete and utter douchebag. Now, one thing which was really weird here was the fact that we had time travel. Now, time travel over in The Flash is never a good thing at all. We haven't really seen any time travel in this, apart from, of course, the Legion coming back in time. I guess there is that. But we're not seeing the main character go through and use time and things like that. Legends of Tomorrow, time travel be damned, there's no rules, and the whole kind of rules across time travel in the Arrowverse doesn't really fit that well. But she had to use time travel as everyone was killed, and she had the little Har-El thing, went back in time, and was able to use that. I thought that was really, really cool, that bit, when she went back in time and she saw all the the memories and things like that. It's quite reminiscent of the Superman movies where Christopher Reeve went back in time and he saw like all the memories and things like that. I thought that's really cool. Just some really, really good kind of production there. And I give credit where credit's due, to be honest. And I do criticise where criticisms need to be made. But it was cool that we saw that happen. Now this Harronell, this to me is definitely black kryptonite. This is absolutely 100% black kryptonite. It's so similar to what we saw in Smallville, to be honest. So we see that, and we see that at the end. So she uses it to dispatch Rain, and then we see at the end Lena Luthor is interested in this rock. So if that is a form of black kryptonite, it's been made and kryptonite is turned into black kryptonite. That's what this essentially is. Well, in the comics, black kryptonite actually created a different version of Supergirl. She had to end up actually fighting her evil form of herself. So at the end, we see the little stinger for next season. We see Lena hinting towards possibly being evil and experimenting more on this rock. So what happens is we then see as Kara grips it and saves the day, we cut with the little smoke thing, the little effect of whatever it does, over into Siberia. This is where we see Kara. So initially I was thinking that, hold on a minute, we've got a divergent timeline. So I thought that we had our normal timeline, it splits off, and then Kara actually ended up in Siberia instead of America. So what happens here is I think that we've got a different version of Kara. Now, Kara is going to have this different version. So now we've got our National City version, we've got the Siberia version. This is now the storyline for Superman Red Sun. So the show's creators have said that they are going to be adapting Superman Red Sun. What is that, you ask? It's one of the greatest comic book stories ever written, in my opinion. It reimagines Superman landing in the Ukraine, which again back then was in the USSR, and during the Cold War we do actually see Superman end up and become the hero of Russia, and then the hero of America is Lex Luthor working at Star Labs. So if you haven't read that, I highly recommend going and checking that out. So what we're going to see here, we've got the combination of black kryptonite, we've got split Karas, we've got the good and the bad. Not sort of like Superman red and blue. Just forget that ever happened. That was really crap. But what we've got here is a version of Red Sun. So we've got a grown-up Kara. Now, the reason why I don't think the timeline thing there is the reason why we've got another Kara is simply because she's the same age. If she was the 12-year-old kid walking towards these Russian troops, these Siberian troops, well, that wouldn't fit. Now, one thing I thought was really odd, the original reason why I thought that there might be a timeline split is because they had the kind of furry hats, and it looked like they had the red star. I've watched it back recently, and I can't see that there is a red star, which means it is current timeline Russia, unless I could be completely wrong, and I haven't got a good quality copy, so let me know what you think on that. But I definitely think it's just split, it's in the modern age, and we're going to see a different version of her. Now, a lot of people are saying it could be Overgirl. No, that's not going to happen because she's not from Earth X, so no, that's 100% not going to happen. Now, there is an option here that she could simply become Power Girl. Now, Power Girl is the Earth 2 version of Supergirl. So now we've got Earth 2. We know they all exist. We've got an Earth 2. She is on another Earth. But I'm not sure here if they're going to be doing the thing where they will be making her Power Girl. That'll be her sort of her name moving forward. So I'm not sure if that's going to work, because we haven't really seen a Kara from Earth 2, and that really sets up, it's not really going to fit that well. So maybe they're just going to be doing the Red Sun storyline, and then they're going to be moving forward with that. And lastly, we've got Alex as the director of the DEO, which is pretty cool. That fits in quite well. Martian Manhunter's doing his thing. I'm not sure what's going on with him next, but it sets up an interesting thing for next season. So that is it for this video. Please drop a like, please subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.